folks. There we go. We're starting recording. The game hasn't started yet. Still have 10 seconds. We're all good.
Need to turn down my microphone again.
Yep. Fix it up. Fix it up.
Because now it's down to 0, I think.
Okay. All right.
Is it better? Is it better?
It sounds quieter, so it's all good.
Yeah, if Tekno's quiet, right? As long as Tekno doesn't make bad puns, then everything's fine.
There's an ER on the end. 5-man.
Very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. My throat's actually too croaky for that. We're seeing the 5-man by barely online, but they're going to back out. Don't see anything there. Sorry about that sound you might have heard there. I had to lean around my mic to stop my monitor from turning off. It decided to go to sleep because I haven't touched it in a while.
Touch your monitor. You should always be touching your monitor, Touch.
Well, unlike you, my monitor's not a touch screen, so that does not count. But right now, we're actually seeing Fast Forward get a little bit of an XP lead because Jella has been completely left alone in this top lane. Not sure what Brightwing's doing there. I guess he TP'd down for something. But he finally gets to the top lane and is going to begin farming that XP. And Gela did not really make the most of that. Did not start attacking those minions and get as much XP lead as she could. But in the meantime, not much going on. We're seeing a possible gank in the bot lane though.
Stitches is moving in from the side here. Nice hook there
hook.
to say hey, but he managed to walk away from this one. Then again, even if he did take a little bit more damage, his passive would have kicked in. That would have been more than enough for Sahaya to actually survive this one.
This is the most interesting roam squad I've ever seen. The Zagara Malfurion roam squad. Well, it's good for vision. They're just dropping creep tumors everywhere. That's pretty fun. And now they're just heading into the lane. They're just going to drive back as much of this lane as possible. And
that hook
probably get
was
a bit
close.
Of a push. The hook was close.
Hook was very close, but the push is working pretty well. They have the 2 siege giants, so they're going to be putting down a lot of pressure onto this one. And I guess that Malfurion Zagara isn't all that much of a gank squad. It's more of a siege squad.
Yep, it roams, it pushes a lane, and then it leaves, never to be heard from again until the next time it roams, which is not very long. But they're just going to protect these siege giants, going to push this up, and Zagara taking a very interesting talent, not one we see her taking often, which is Banelings can now travel twice as far, which is weird. But
I always take that one.
It's weird though in this scenario. It's not the usual pick. You usually take health regen on creep, but that's usually when Zagara's in lane. This is, as we pointed out earlier, a more roamy Zagara. This is for long-range poke and tribute denial, this talent. Tribute's already up, but Fast Forward, going to completely ignore it and continue pushing this top lane with this one remaining siege giant who's looking pretty weak. But Malfurion can keep healing this if he wants to. Keep it going. I think that's actually what he's doing. I think he's keeping this alive by healing it and just keeping the push going. And that's how Fast Forward intend on playing this, just incredibly hard pushing. And they are just continuously healing this giant. The giant gets polymorphed there. And
but it's still dealing damage. Look at the Banelings already dealing some damage to the fort. Finally, the giant actually goes down. But damage has already been done.
Yep, the fort is running low on ammo. The towers and the wall already down at the cost of a tribute. And the giant did get a little bit of damage down. And, however, Fast Forward did actually manage to get a small lead in XP from that because they barely online had to keep so many people top lane to defend against that. Someone had to go out of lane to grab this tribute, which was interesting because they couldn't get the XP.
A very, very, very good play here by Fast Forward. However, the first tribute going over to barely online means that they have a little bit of an advantage when it comes down to the actual power fight. And oh, this is a very good tribute spawn for barely online.
Yep, this could in fact be and will probably be their second tribute. We can see the squad of Zagara and Malfurion have started taking this hard camp. Malfurion's now going to leave Zagara. The roaches will tank for her, so she will be able to take this down without taking any extra damage, except for that one hit there. And now we're going to see Fast Forward finally going to actually contest this tribute, but they are once again in enemy territory. We're going to see
the hook on Jella. Jella in a lot of trouble. He gets jumped on. Jella desperately trying to survive this one. He actually doesn't get focused here. A sheep jumps straight onto Sahaya. Might not be the target he's looking for. Tyrael goes down. He's moving into the center of the fight. Might take
the shield and their heals though, keeping him alive. Sahaya has so much sustained. He does get away. Sleep is able to sneak out the back as well. And that is a 2 for 0. 3 for 0 in favor of barely online. Their team fight is so good. Bad stitches from them. Good lord.
Beautiful play here by barely online. They positions themselves perfectly for this fight, and with the help of Right Wing assisting in healing everyone who was around, they were able to turn the fight upside its head. And this is kind of the issue that the team composition of the team of Fast Forward is going to be running into. They can't team fight. They are way better at sieging, they're way better at pushing, but team fight wise, they're going to lose. And when I mean lose, I mean utter defeat.
Yep. I really hope that the other game finishes first, just so we have a chance of seeing that Stitch is banned out, because at the moment it's looking like more of an imbalance in the game at this point, the way Saka is playing it. Just incredible play. But there is the tribute on Fast Forward side this time. So we're going to see Sepkea dropping some creep tubers, getting his team some vision. Right Wing though, immediately countering.
He's not going to have any of that.
There we go, they go for the tribute again. Marco Win is there, he can't delay, and there's the Banelings. Oh,
yeah, Banelings coming in nicely done there, but Dustin and the entirety of Barely Online is right there. Now they're on the Sakai. Sakai in a lot of trouble, he's trying to survive with the shield, but he is going to go down. They take down Sagara. Here's the transformation as the ship goes straight onto Saheya. Saheya will survive due to the heals, but I am afraid for Fast Forward that Barely Online is going to take this tribute and immediately take their own Grave Golem, and that is all that it will be right now.
This is the first time we've seen this squad of Barely Online, and they're decimating everyone right now. They use their ultimates really well. That's a really early curse. 6-minute curse. They're going to get the Golem with this, and they're going to get a lot of damage done. I like what Fast Forward are doing, though. The Golem is now pushing top lane, and they are just going to defend bot lane and grab their own Golem. At the same time, they're doing damage control, and that's a nice clairvoyance to make sure they don't get ganked. They now know that Barely Online were taking their own Golem, but now Barely Online is on their way down. Can they get there in time?
They're going to be too late. That's for certain.
So close.
But yeah, they were pretty close, although Raynor already popped his Banshee, so he's going to be in a somewhat annoying position, rather, somewhat bad position. But Barely Online, they know they have the curse, they can just push in. They have Brightwing who can go in at any moment. Saka barely missing that hook.
Oh, there's the gorge on some mouth. He has no escape. He's kind of owned. There's the silence, but that's not going to help. He throws down his root. Oh my god, is he going to get away?
Yeah, he's going to get away. He's going straight to the King, and the King immediately gets wiped as the Zagara hits a 3-man devouring maw. Amazingly done here. Dastin actually forced to pick up the Emerald Winds just to disperse the enemy team. But this could also be just a distraction, as the top fort is getting hammered by the Grave Golem, allowing the team of Barely Online to actually get themselves a little bit of an experience lead. And with the curse actually being in their favor, they can actually get the bottom Golem without losing their own fort. So all in all, even though they lost the trade, Barely Online had a pretty good actually they lost the trade hero wise, but they won it when it came down to objectives.
Yep, Fast Forward's Golem did not do any damage bot lane, and although they did have that miraculous engagement where somehow Vongala survived thanks to the help of Yella and her teammates, but still, we're about to see what might be a second fort go down for Fast Forward. Barely Online, pushing this hard, going to try and get it down here, is all 5 members going to push this as hard as they can. Sepkea clearing mid lane to make sure this doesn't happen here as well. But there's a second fort in favour of Barely Online, and tributes will start spawning again soon.
I like that you mentioned tributes, because there's another really big thing that we haven't really seen on this map. The only ones collecting tributes have been Barely Online, which means that right now the score is tied in terms of tributes. And this is really good for Barely Online, because usually what you see after one team gets the curse, then immediately after the other team also gets the curse.
Yeah, it usually gets to 2-2 in terms of tributes really easily, and then you see a massive fight over the end, and that usually kills most of the team, which gives the teams enough time to get both the golems. But in this case, Barely Online dominated in the tributes. The one fight that actually happened over a tribute, they had really good zoning and were able to take control. And Fast Forward now, really greedily out in lane here. They're going to try and get this top fort. Barely Online can respond to this, but it looks like they're going to try and deal with this knights in the mid lane first.
I like what Barely Online is doing right now, because they are going to take down the middle fort as well. They have a knight camp of their own, and they're moving in onto this fort, going to take it down. It's out of ammo already. Yeah, it's out of ammo.
Catch him. Yeah, the fort will go down, but Fast Forward are currently going to try and catch Barely Online out. Vongler is pretty out of position. He does get engaged upon. He's been pulling off. There's the Emerald win. Really nice zoning there by Barely Online. There's the judgment onto the Odin, but the Odin gets instantly healed up. There is the silence, catching quite a few members. Saihar is being dropped quite low. No one has died yet. Zagara does go down. We're seeing low health bars on everyone. Everyone's so close to dying. There goes Raider and Tyrael. And that is another fight for Barely Online. Somehow, look at their health bars in the top right. Tychus is full again because he came out of Odin, but everyone else dropped so low. We saw some heals coming out, bringing them all back up again. But that was so close for Fast Forward there. They almost were able to take down everyone, but they just couldn't do it. And because
they couldn't
of this,
get the
that's
finish
another
off,
tribute.
and this is the issue, what you get when you're running a composition like this. You don't have your finishers, you don't have your Nova, you don't have your Zeratul, you don't have your Illidan, and yeah, I still think that picking up Raynor over Falstad was a massive mistake. They should
agree.
never
They
have.
need every team, no matter how much you like your sustain comps, every team needs a little bit of burst. And we're currently seeing the double support out of the double support of Barely Online is currently better than the double support out of Fast Forward.
Well, you have to consider this: they're not dealing with any form of burst composition, whereas Fast Forward is. They are dealing with Illidan, they're dealing with the hook into Gorge by Stitches, they're dealing with Tychus who can drop down a lot of damage in his Odin form, and they have Rhaegar for, I don't know, did he pick up Ancestral Healing, or did he pick up
Rhaegar has Ancestral Healing.
Okay, but they cannot burst them down, and that makes the Ancestral Healing all the more
the hook again onto Vongler every time. This time not able to get away. Vongler goes down. And it's going to be another
combine this tribute with the boss. They can combine the tributes. And boss camp on the other side is going to get taken down by Fast Forward, but whether it's going to be fast enough, I sincerely doubt it, because this boss camp is going over to Barely Online. They have 2 tributes.
Yeah, and there is the clairvoyance, so Fast Forward know that they are coming, and they're going to be able to get this golem in time once again. Barely Online not able to get there in time, but
on the other hand, they did really need to get there on time. All they have to do is set up for the next tribute, take that one down, because their Grave Golem is already pushing this top lane. The other team has to respond, and this Grave Golem on the other side is going to get taken down by the fort and the cannon. So that's not really something they have to worry about. They immediately rotate over to the top lane, going to assist their Grave Golem, because they know they have far more to gain than they have to lose.
Yeah, this is true. Gaining a keep in exchange for a fort is fine. There's the judgment, and Sheep goes down so quickly.
Oh, a beautiful devouring maw right there.
Let's see what the finish is on it.
Destin are going to go down. A lot of damage being put down onto Destin. Destin is able to escape. Yes, but Stitches is going to fall. And I don't think that Fast Forward, Barely Online is going to be taking this tribute. They can't really afford this one. Oh, Sepkaya!
He's been rooted. He's been healed though by the Ufa. Gotta go fast. Destin did get all the way to this tribute, but not going to be able to help his team. Emerald Wind does zone the other team, but they weren't able to save the Rhaegar. So, unfortunately, this is going to be Barely Online backing out now. And Fast Forward have control of the game again, and they do not
I wouldn't really call it control.
They have current control of the map.
I would more.
The game, not so much. You were correct there.
I don't think that. I think Barely Online made a mistake there. They overvalued what they had, and they allowed Sheep to just get wasted in one go. They took down Illidan, and then suddenly there was no more damage. Because King went into Odin form, but couldn't quite put down the damage at all.
Yep, this trade just wasn't able to get anything done. You can
Especially
see
if you look at the setup for Illidan, no Stone Skin.
Yep, Stone Skin isn't really a standard on Illidan anymore. People like to take him Giant Killer because the biggest counter to Illidan recently was just going super tanky and just tanking him and then smashing him in the face once his evasion runs out. But the Giant Killer does sort of counter that, and the Blood for Blood gives him a little bit of that sustain he is missing in the form of the heals, which is what a lot of people are running nowadays. There's the tribute, and Barely Online only need one more for another curse. They already have knights in this middle lane, and they're just going to clear the middle lane and then set up for the tribute.
I think they're going for the tribute. They have to go for the tribute.
They have to. They were just clearing the top. They were just clearing the mid lane first. And then they're getting ready. Fast Forward also posturing. They're trying to sit in a situation, in a spot where they don't get, where Clairvoyance
But they
won't
have to
hit
respond.
them.
There's a hard camp in the middle lane.
They have to respond indeed. That will get killed by the core eventually, but the catapult might do some damage. But here is going to be the fight. Sheep is denied the tribute. Here is the full engagement. Saka is in really out of position and does get killed off very quickly there. And there's the judgment onto Destin, and he gets killed off. Sheep and Borka have both been taken into the Devouring Maw. Sheep is trying to, gets a lot of health back, but gonna be burst down. And now it is down to Geller versus Kingen. Kingen is able to CC himself some freedom. But this is going to be another tribute for Fast Forward. And their minions have cleared up the catapults in the mid lane quite nicely. And now they're going to respond by dealing with the easy camp in the bottom lane.
What I feel went wrong in this fight for Barely Online is that their Stitches didn't quite do what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to get someone into the team of Barely Online. But because he was already so displaced into the team of Fast Forward, he couldn't do anything.
What you're trying to say here, in less complicated words, is
basically
Stitches got caught.
Was out of position.
Yes, exactly. That's what you're trying to say. There we go.
I was trying to make use of the beautiful English language.
You what, mate? Alright, so okay, so we have Geller. He's going to be starting on this easy camp. Saiya and Sebke. Oh, nope, the Saiya changed their mind. Oh no, they're just ditching it because the tribute is spawned. They really need to get this Barely Online. All respawning, all on their way. And everyone is going to come to this tribute. This tribute could be what decides the game. If Fast Forward can get this, they may have a chance to come back. Gets Marco in, he's gorged. But they're going to give up the tribute for this.
Yeah, this is true, they give it the tribute, but do they really need the tribute if they
Divine
want to go
Storm as a ghost, Divine Storm as a ghost! There's the Divine Storm in Ghost form, gets 2 members, and here is the full force of Fast Forward. The silence doesn't really hit anything. That was the great silence by Vongala here. Geller being dropped low, he will explode and get some extra damage off. We're missing a couple ults from Fast Forward. We do see Illidan go down. There's the Devouring Maw onto just the Odin, and we're seeing Rhaegar's really caught out of position here. Down goes the Odin. And that was a 2 for 2. Both teams losing 2 members, and now they're Fast Forward are trying to make it free by picking off Rhaegar, but they can't catch him instead. They're just going to try and get some pressure on. The top golem is up, but I don't think Fast Forward's had the guts to go get it. They're just going to go to their bottom golem and take that instead. We will likely see Barely Online taking their golem as well once they have cleared the bottom and top waves.
I was saying it was a probably game, but I forgot, of course, that the Odin cooldown wasn't up yet. If it was up, then of course then of course the team fight would have been turned around completely. But a beautiful judgment and the Divine Storm. That was a beautiful combination of those two abilities.
Storm did hit 2 people, and the Illidan, he wasn't caught in it, was still able to get out. But that was actually not too much done in that curse, but it does give Fast Forward a little bit of breathing room. Their top and bot waves are pushed really hard. If they can find a way to get through this mid fort just to give themselves a bit more map presence, then that will be huge for them. But right now, they're all beginning to wander in the direction of top lane. They're looking for a fight at this golem, or at least to try and take it. They're going to take their hero and easy camp first. They have already clairvoyanced the golem, so they know that Barely Online are currently not taking it, and Barely Online have all now moved to the bot lane, and that is Fast Forward's key to go for the top golem. They know exactly where Barely Online are, and they're responding to it as quick as they can.
Yeah, but Barely Online has to do this. They can't afford to lose a keep at this point. Not at this juncture, because that is the only thing standing between a full-on core push and of course not a full-on core push. Eh?
This is true. Barely Online on their way up to this golem. They're going to try and contest it, but they are far too late. Fast Forward take this golem, and that gives them a bit more map presence. They're just trying to gain as much as they can, and they're actually going to attempt to be greedy and take this hard camp here. Nice clairvoyance, giving them vision of what's going on, and Barely Online, they cannot contest this. They have to go top. They have to wait here so they don't get caught out. Wait for the golem to wander to their general area, and there's a hard camp for Fast Forward. They can even go for their own hard camp once this push has finished in the top lane, but they are now going to push with the golem.
Yeah, and smart move here by Fast Forward. Yeah, they have the easy camp as well, but for now...
Oh, the hook! No, get the bolt of the storm! He keeps himself alive! There is the Emerald Wind! It is the upgraded one, but all teams are at level 20. There's Judgment onto Sheep. He does get burst down. Nice Divine Hurricane! The Marco Wind, Kingen does get caught out by the Devouring Maw there. Geller's being dropped low, but when he explodes, he will go down. There goes Stitches! And Fast Forward are breaking this defensive line. They've lost all but 2 people. And actually, Resurgence has seriously helped out Barely Online here, they lost the original fight, but the sustained fight, they take down everyone, and it's a full wipe for Barely Online. They take out all of Fast Forward. Tyrael has come back to life due to his resurgence, but he has to deal with the catapults, and that was exactly what Barely Online needed. They're actually diving this while trying to defend their own core. They're just going to base race this because there's 20-second respawn timers for Fast Forward here. They're going to go for it. They're not even taking the tribute.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. They could easily take down the tribute, get that curse, but they decide we want this
here
core
comes
now.
Brightwing as well. It's 4 versus 1. 8
defend.
seconds till Malfurion. 11 seconds till Ufa. They're just trying to do the damage. Geller's doing everything he can, but he can only do so much. Emerald Wind is going to delay him for so long, and he's trying to do the damage. Here's Malfurion. He'll be able to silence them for a little bit. There's the Ancestral Healing, keeping them alive, and it's going to be Barely Online that take the semi-final. Oh, Divine Storm, but it's not enough. Keegan running around the outside with Overdrive, and he does take it, and it's Barely Online for their first time in this tournament move on to the finals. That's our number 4 seed. Gone as well.
That is our number 4 seed. That's
We're
for
running
certain.
out of seeds. We need the cursed. We need the Garden
We need the
of Terror.
Garden of Terror, that's for certain.
That's the one. We need Garden of Terror to refresh our seed count.
Exactly. Let's take a quick look at the brackets.
I just refreshed. There's nothing. I'm just going to quickly see if any of Payne's players are out of game. No, they're in a customs game for 34 minutes. They're still going.
They're still going. Wow. Okay, so for now we are going to be waiting for either playing with Payne's Pain or their opponents. Well met, I believe.
Yep, well met.
Well met / WP versus Barely Online. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into a quick commercial break, and after that we'll be right back with the grand finals of the ESL Community Cup number 9. Stay tuned.